Young people arrive at Mostar Airport, Yugoslavia, en route to Medjugorje. They've come here on pilgrimage to witness for themselves the extraordinary events which have been taking place in Medjugorje since June 1981. The word pilgrimage conveys images of prayer, fasting and penance, activities not usually associated with young people of the 80s. Why then have they given 1 week of their lives and travelled 1,500 miles to visit a shrine?
I'm interested in what's happening up there because I'm already here and talking with people every day for the last 6 years and the messages that she's given and messages once a month for the Lord.
I'm very interested in what's happening out there because what we especially because it's so much new.
I went to Medjugorje for many different reasons. Basically to see exactly what's happening out there. I'd satisfy my curiosity on the subject. I'm going out as well to see different cultures as well in a communist country. I'd like to see what that's about. And for the religion part as well. I'm interested in that, so in that point of that.
I'm going to Medjugorje because I'm looking forward to meeting the visionaries that are leading the referring to. To see what's happening out there. You hear about the visionaries. I'd like to meet them. Maybe when I go out.
I'm going to Medjugorje because I'd like to see how the visionaries, how their religion has affected the people out there, how it's changed their view of life and how the way of life has changed as well as what's happened. It's good weather and I expect to have a good time and I expect some religious fulfillment.
The word Medjugorje means between the hills, and that describes the place exactly. A valley of 5 small hamlets where the people earn their livelihood mainly from farming. This is a Christian oasis in a predominantly communist country. There are no hotels here, so visitors stay in local homes, sharing meals with the families. The people themselves are very close-knit, and in some ways would remind one of a typical rural Irish family. The visitors are made very welcome and join in at family prayer time. It is prayer that is the central message of Medjugorje. Mary, Queen of Peace, first appeared to 4 young girls and 2 boys on the side of the hill called Podbreda on June 24th, 1981. Being young, their first reaction was to run, but they returned later and again saw Our Lady further up the hill. This time they approached her and she spoke to them. "I am the Queen of Peace," she said. At first, they were not too sure what to believe, and Viske even threw holy water at Our Lady to convince herself that it was not Satan playing tricks on them. The 6 chosen visionaries, Ivan, then age 16, Maria, also 16, Viska, age 17, Mirjana, 16, Ivanka, 15, and Yakov, age 10, asked the questions that any young person of their age would ask. Why us? Why here? Why at all? The only thing that all 6 had in common was that they all came from the same village of Viakovici.
Sie sind so verschieden, dass ich einmal gesagt habe, wenn ich einmal eine Gruppe zusammensetzen sollte.
They are so different that if I put a group together, I would never choose them.
Und Maria, zum Beispiel Ivan ist...
Ivan is a young man who is almost completely introverted. He has started to come out of himself very slowly and is not as shy as he was in the beginning.
Schüchtern wie am Anfang. Zum Beispiel Witzka ist...
Vishka, on the other hand, is a girl who is extremely extroverted.
Extrovertiert. Ivanka ist wiederum ganz in sich verschlossen.
Ivanka, again, is completely closed in herself and does not open easily. Yakov is too young to say anything about it, but he's developing a very strong character. He was orphaned when very young, and it is too early to say what effect this will have on him.
Welche Konsequenzen Folgen haben wird auf seinen Charakter, dass sehr früh ohne Eltern geblieben ist.
Mariana is very shy.
Sie ist sehr schüchtern.
Maria, from outside, looks shy, but I believe that inwardly she is the strongest.
Sieht sie aus eigentlich als sehr schüchtern. Aber innerlich, von innen her, sie ist, glaube ich, die stärkste.
Our Lady told the visionaries that she had chosen Medjugorje because there were many believers among the 2,500 population. From the beginning, Our Lady told the visionaries that they would each receive 10 secrets, which, at a specified time, were to be told to all humanity. This was why she had come. Meanwhile, every day she asked them to pray for peace and reconciliation through the Mass and confessions. Curiosity brought huge crowds here every day with the visionaries, and because gatherings of this sort are banned in Herzegovina, the apparitions began to appear in a sanctuary of the local parish church of St. James. They continued every day, but soon, because of the opposition of the local bishop, they were banned from the church. From that day on until our visit, the apparitions have been occurring in the office cum bedroom of Father Slavko Barberg. The messages of the past 6 years have not changed, however, and still remain peace and reconciliation. Father Slavko's room is just like the office of any other priest in any other part of the world. Religious books, statues, holy pictures, a typewriter, a desk, and of course his bed. Every evening, thousands of people gather outside his window to be close to the apparitions. From 6 o'clock, the visionaries and those present in the room recite the rosary and sing hymns.
Slavljena si među ženama i blagoslovljen plod utrobe tvoje, Isus.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb.
Otca i Sina i Duha Svetog, amen. Oče naš koji jesi na nebesima, sveti se ime Tvoje, dođi kraljevstvo Tvoje, budi volja Tvoja, kako na nebu, tako i na zemlji. Kruh naš koji jesi na nebesima, svet se ime Tvoje, dođi kraljevstvo Tvoje, budi volja Tvoja, kako na nebu, tako i na zemlji. Kruh naš svagdanji daj nam danas i otpusti nama duge naše, kako i mi otpuštamo dužnicima našim, i ne uvedi nas u napast, nego izbav nas od zla. Otče duh moj, Bogu moj spasitelju, što pogleda na neznatnost stupenice svoje, odsaće me Bog svi naraštaj zvati blaženom, jer velika mi djela učini sve i silni, sveto ime njegovo, od koljena do koljena, dobrota je njegova, nad onima što se njega boje, iskaza snagu mišice svoje, rasprši okolice umišljene, sile zbaci s prijestolja, a uzvisi neznatne, gladne napuni dobrima, a bogate otpusti prazne, prihvate Izraela slugu svoga, kako veća ocina našim, spomenuti se dobrote svoje prema Abrahamu i potomstvu njegovu do vijeka, slava Otcu i Sinu i Duhu Svetom,
kako bijaše na početku, tako i sada i vasa, i u vijeke vijekova. Amen.
kraljice mira,
Moli za nas. Adesso si sta sollevando questa macchia
At 7 o'clock, Mass is celebrated in the church, and outside the message of Medjugorje is being lived. Priests hear confessions in several languages. One of the highlights of the youth pilgrimage was actually meeting the visionaries and having a chance to put their own questions to them. Biska has a brain tumour, and because of her ill health, her apparitions occur in her own bedroom. She lives with her parents, brothers and sisters, and during the day works around the house.
Mary has said for all young people that through praying and fasting they will find the right way through their lives. And we have to help by opening our hearts to God and Mary.
How is Mary dressed?
She is usually dressed in a grey dress and a white veil. She has blue eyes and black hair, and stands about 1 metre off the ground. Mary dresses up on special days, like on her birthday, at Easter and at Christmas. During these times, she looks like gold, just gold.
What about the cross on the hill and the sun spinning?
Those are small signs before the big signs, which Mary says will be left on the hill after the apparitions have stopped. The visionaries know when these signs will appear, but must not tell the world yet. The Gospel says that the most important thing is the Mass, and after that everything is less important.
Viska has been given the task of writing the life story of Our Lady, and this will be published at a date specified by Our Lady. Only Viska knows the date. Ivan has just completed his 1 year of military service and only recently returned to his home village of Medjugorje. At 22, his one aim in life is to become a priest.
Und was uns Ivan und Jakob zeigen werden, vielleicht Ivan...
I believe that Ivan will show us a new type of priest in the church. I ask myself, how can he become a priest? He doesn't study yet. He always says, the Mother of God will guide me.
We asked Ivan what they spoke to Our Lady about.
We talk about everything, and when I can't sort out my problems, I just ask her.
He told us of a special message Mary had given him for youth.
За нас jedno od najdelikatnijih pitanja u svijetu je pitanje mladih. A kako im pomoći? Pomoći im možemo samo svi mi koji
The most important program now involves the youth and how to help them. Everywhere you can find alcohol and drugs, and the most important thing is to help youth. Family and parents are important. They can do everything for the youth. Young people can be compared to a tree. When you plant a tree, you plant its roots. Young people must plant their own roots to be very firm, and only then can they stand firm on earth. Our Lady says we must change our lives, that we cannot remain as we are. We must change and tell others to change as well.
Maria followed a career in hairdressing after finishing school. She received her degree, but has now forsaken her profession and says that she would like to become a nun when the apparitions end for her. She is to be found working either at home or in the nearby fields. We asked Maria for her reaction when she first saw Our Lady.
It was a very great surprise, and I was afraid. God let Our Lady choose to whom she was to appear, and she chose us. I was not especially religious, but now I thank God that the Gospel chose me.
Why has Our Lady chosen now to appear?
The time is right now because the world is full of sin. She wants people to pray, and if we pray enough, we will get inspiration to do things right. When you have peace in yourself, you will have peace in your family. And when you have peace in your family, then you will have peace everywhere. And we will make others live in peace also.
Like any boy of 16, Jakob wears trendy clothes and spends his summer holidays from school riding his bicycle, kicking ball, or listening to his Walkman. Ivanka's visions have stopped because she has received all of her 10 seekers from Our Lady. She has an apparition now only on her birthday or in times of special need. She is now married, works in the local restaurant with her husband, and is expecting her first baby in December. Like Ivanka, Mirjana's visions have also ceased. She has left the area now and is attending university at Sarajevo, studying agricultural science.
I'm very impressed with the country out there, both religiously and culturally. People are very, very nice. It's the atmosphere out there is unbelievable. It's such a very good atmosphere for prayer and for generally getting on like with the people. And I spoke to the visionaries once, and I found them very, very interesting.
My impression of Medjugorje is that it's a very prayerful place. It's the kind of place that you want to pray, whereas at home, if you want to pray or be prayerful, everyone laughs at you. In Medjugorje, you kind of, you're in an atmosphere where everyone seems to be wanting to get closer to God and to Mary.
Massive place. If I had me chance, I'd come again. Like, it's unbelievable the way everybody carries on. Everybody is so peaceful, and it's like great. Everybody is praying, like in the houses, like the carpets got together, and just go in and you pray, and there's no problem. Like I know you wouldn't. I know I wouldn't do it at home. Like I'll try from now on. Like it's just a remarkable place to pray. It's a lovely place, and I feel closer to Mary myself here than ever before. And I enjoy the rosary now myself. You know, I hadn't really a great interest in it before, but now I can enjoy it without feeling bored. That's my brains. We're the next generation coming on, and we're the ones who can give Mary's messages too. You know, give them to the people around. Oh, I'll tell everyone about it, and hopefully they'll listen to me and pray with me maybe and whatever.
Prayer is a must in Medjugorje, but it does come easy. The heart of prayer here is the Eucharist, as asked for by Our Lady through the visionaries. As part of our youth pilgrimage, we had a special celebration of the Eucharist. We prayed, we sang, and we danced. All have their part to play.
You are part of the building that has the apostles and prophets, their foundations.
It's a thanks for being our host, for our care, for our session, the peace that we are experiencing here, so we're experiencing again. We pray that peace, when we shall stand above our we remember the special importance of help us to be here.
Father Slavko was presented with a set of Mass vestments handmade in Ireland. As a continuation of our prayer and penance, we climbed up the small mountain overlooking the homes of the visionaries at Medjugorje, the site of the first apparitions. The terrain is very rocky, and it is not an easy climb in the midday heat. Apparitions still occur here on the instructions of Our Lady, and it is the task of Ivan to organize these meetings.
Con la sua vita, morte e risurrezione meritati il paradiso. Ti preghiamo di concederci che, meditando le potenze benedetta, tra le donne benedette il frutto del tuo seno.
Further down the same hill, a simple cross, erected by Ivan, marks the site of the first apparition, after which the children ran away. Across the valley, we can see another larger mountain, and on its top a cross. This cross was erected by the local people in 1933 to mark the celebration of the 1900th anniversary of the death of Christ. On the way up the steep climb, there are stations of the cross. It was at the top of this mountain that we held a night vigil of reconciliation and peace. Dawn heralds the coming of a new day, and the special bond that has grown between our youth group and Our Lady continues to strengthen. Souvenirs are bought at the stalls, which are part and parcel of a place of pilgrimage. Coaches and taxis bring new pilgrims every day down the dusty roads to Medjugorje. The messages of Medjugorje were entrusted by Our Lady, or the Gospel as she is known locally, to 6 young people. Their mission in life is to spread that message. This Youth for Peace pilgrimage gave some of the young people of Ireland a chance to sample that message at first hand. Most of them will come home deeply affected by their own personal experiences at Medjugorje.
About 3 years ago I was in school and a priest came to give us a talk on Medjugorje, and to be honest I thought, well, it's a chance to get out of class, I'll go to it. And before this I hadn't been going to Mass, I just turned away, and I didn't really care much for religion. I believed in God and all, but it was sort of the Catholic Church maybe, or maybe it was myself was getting a bit more radical every day, and I wasn't ready to accept that there was a God and he was going to look after us and all this. And as soon as I saw the visionaries drop to their knees in the video, I just thought, look, I'm 17, I'm in Northern Ireland, and here's 6 young people in Yugoslavia, and if it was a hoax, well, I wouldn't be hearing about them now. So I just decided from then on that I'd begin praying, and I began to fast from just desserts after dinner and all. And then it faded a bit, but as I told more people, more young people about it, I felt stronger about it, and I knew that they were really interested, so I decided that I wanted to put together a leaflet for young people. And I went to see Father McGinnity, and he helped me with it, and I prayed that I would get to Medjugorje, and I knew I'd never have the money together. So a few weeks later, a priest came to me and he offered me a free seat. When I came here, I just got the greatest feeling of peace and just of motherly love from Our Lady. And I'm totally convinced that Our Lady's here. I never have any doubts about it. And just people are here, it's amazing. Everyone is called to Medjugorje, because you'll sit down beside someone, you've never met them before, and you start talking to them, and you'll realise that they have a problem that you have, and you just begin to share it with them. And in that, you get a great sense of, it's like a problem shared is a problem halved, and you get a good sense of peace out of that. And it's the same with Our Lady. She's telling you to come here to Medjugorje and give your problems to her, and just abandon your life to her. And this is what she wants us all to do. And it's especially important for the young, because she's coming now and she's addressing herself as the Queen of Peace, and she says that the peace of the world is in great danger. So if the young people can get the peace instilled in their hearts that Our Lady wants them to have, well, then maybe we'll go back and we'll be messengers, and we'll spread peace instead of trouble.
Well, my final impression of Medjugorje is that it's a peaceful place. The people here are very, very nice, and you can see that there is peace in the town, in the little village here. And I believe myself that Mary is appearing here. From being here, I've a strong faith, like, in my religion, and I advise, like, anyone who is thinking of coming here to come, because you have to really experience it yourself to really understand the feeling here. I'll carry the message back with me by telling my friends, like, what actually happens here, and to try to encourage them to come here as well, and try and be a better Catholic while in the process.
My final impression of Medjugorje is one of great peace. Like, that it's surrounded in a beautiful area, like, and everyone seems to be happy within themselves, and that rubs on to the people who come here. It certainly rubbed on to me, and I feel I've been very happy and peaceful in myself since I came here, and that must affect me spiritually as well. When you're religiously anyway, you think nothing of saying the rosary or going to mass or going up the mountain, and it's great, like, because back home you wouldn't dream of doing any of these things, and like it's just a whole, spiritually anyway, it's just very fulfilling. Like, I used to like going to mass, but when I went to mass here, I didn't mind at all. I wouldn't dream of saying the rosary, like, but here it's like breathing or whatever, drinking water, just do it, like, I don't even think of doing it.
Well, Vishka for me was the climax of the whole excursion, if you like, because she gave us a graphic description of heaven, hell and purgatory. And previous to my excursion here, I didn't believe there was a hell. I believed that hell was being without God. But she gave quite a graphic description of it, and it was very disturbing, I thought. Well, when I go home, the only thing I can do, the only way I can spread the message, if you like, is to live the message.
Home to Ireland and to our families and friends. After all the stories we have to tell, the experiences we have to share, and the promises of letters and postcards, we must now reflect and ask the question, how can I spread the message of Mary, a message of prayer, peace and reconciliation? The answer to that was already given to us in Medjugorje by Viska.
When we return home, the best way to live the messages of Medjugorje is to pick up all the messages in our hearts and believe them. Then all the people around us will see the messages in our fasting and penance.